How you doing? Who am I speaking to, please?
This is Teresa.
Teresa what?
Teresa Jones.
How you doing, Teresa Jones? I'm calling as of March 13th, 2015, about something that I'm very concerned about, that we could possibly do something. Because I understand risk management is where a lawyer goes to sue you. If I'm not correct on that?
I'm not. What is your question?
Okay, here's what it is, Teresa Jones.
What's your name first? Let me get your name.
I'm a concerned citizen, and so I'm going under whistleblower status,
Okay.
Teresa. Okay, here's the thing, okay? I witnessed last week, I could not believe my ears. At the Bay County Library, somebody was threatened that they were going to have the cops called on them because all they wanted to do was park their bicycle close to, the front of the entrance of the library. They have the library bike path, bike rack over 200 feet away. It's blocked by pillars. It's got tinted glass, and I've talked to bicyclists who have had their bikes stolen. And I talked to one person that said they had a $500, yellow mongoose bicycle stolen.
Was it locked up? Because how can they steal it if they're locked?
Okay. That's a very good question, Teresa Jones. Number one, the lock doesn't matter if you lock it up. First of all, it cannot be seen, even in the daytime. The people who check out the books. And what I don't understand is on the day that this person was threatened to have their bicycle, taken away, call a Panama City cops on them. There was somebody that was maintenance that was working out on the American flag there. They claimed that the rope wasn't working right, which I could not understand. And then this person tried to park their bicycle over by the building, nowhere near the entrance. And the maintenance person said, we're going to be working on this window. We need to fix it. There was nothing wrong with that window. Now, what I can't understand is, the library is the most incredible institution. I mean, but how many people are even afraid, really can't concentrate? They go to park their bicycle out there, 200 feet away, and I consider this a very great public, importance. Wouldn't you agree that people should be able to park their bike where they can see it at the library?
It's in the parking lot where all the cars are, correct?
Oh, and in other words, what you're saying is because it's out in the parking lot, it's not the safest place that the bicycle could be parked?
No, I'm asking you, the bike rack, is it in the parking lot?
Yeah, but where it is, Teresa, how long have you been with risk management in Bay County, Florida?
For over a year.
Okay, now, aren't you all, when somebody presents something to you that there's a possible easy fix, all they got to do is pick up that rack and move it over right next to the window there where people can see their bikes, because I've seen all kinds of people.
That could possibly be a fire hazard when people are coming out of the building. It would be in the way of the people. I'm not sure why, who or what designed it and had it put there. That is not a question for me.
Now let me ask you something.
I understand you have talked to Robin about this.
Robin Shader, yeah, because I'm trying to figure this out. If talk about fire hazard, let's talk about the baby buggies that come in. Let's talk about the wheelchairs that come in. And she said, evidently, you must have known that I've been calling, right?
I have reports.
Okay, from who?
From Robin.
Right. Okay, now, what did her report say?
Mr. Bikeman called to discuss bike parking at the library. He speaks to staff frequently about this issue.
Yes, see, here's the thing, Teresa Jones. See, a lot of people who have their bikes, that's the same thing like a long time ago when somebody had a horse and somebody stole their horse. That was a hanging offense right there. And a lot of people who have their bicycles, that's their only means of transportation. Now, what I don't understand, Teresa Jones, is I tried contacting, the Bay County Commission there. I tried contacting, and Terrell Arlene happens to be the attorney. Am I correct on that?
I'm sorry?
Terrell Arlene is the Bay County attorney, right? Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Now, here's something, Teresa Jones, that really confuses me. I called up the Bay County Sheriff's Department, 747-4700, to see if we could do a crime prevention thing. And the Bay County Sheriff's Department said it was in Panama City. So I call up Panama City City Hall, and I said, is there a possibility that we can correct this very simply? All they got to do is pick up the rack and move it over. Now, I'd just like to know something. Okay, so what did Robin Shader have to say about it?
She just told you that, let's see, what is that? That you call in and she told you you can either park your bike on the bike rack or on the grass.
Okay, on the grass. Let me ask you something, Teresa Jones. On the grass there, how can I secure my bicycle to keep somebody from getting a pickup truck and picking up my bike and hauling it away?
Well, then park it on the bike rack with locks.
Well, let me ask you something. What is the reason why, Teresa Jones, on the west side of the wall there's a good 100 feet right there. Nobody walks there whatsoever. What is the reason why the bike rack cannot be moved over there?
Which side?
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to give you, in other words, as the
You want to put it on the side of the building where you can't see it at all, too.
No.
It's perfectly fine in the very front of the parking lot where all the cars are by the front door. You can see it from the front door.
First of all, you cannot, because it's got a pillar blocking it, and then you got tinted windows on top of that. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Are you all looking for a $1 million lawsuit that you can't win? Is that what you're looking for? Because I'll tell you what.
Do you have a $1 million bike?
Pardon me, number one, it doesn't matter about what I've got. It's about the facts are that you had a chance to fix the problem and you chose not to do it.
Do you lock your bicycle up on the
Yes,
bike?
yes, Teresa Jones. Yes, I do lock it up.
Okay.
Yes, I do. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Where the bike rack is right now, Teresa Jones, where it is, somebody could come out with bolt cutters and nobody could see that they were cutting the chain on the lock there for the bike.
Have you had your bike stolen from the bike rack?
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Teresa, if I'm trying to prevent, and I've talked to people who've had their bikes stolen, okay?
I'm asking you.
Let me ask you something. Do I have to have my bike stolen first before you all doing something about it? I just want to know something.
We can't. All we
Pardon me, what's this now? What?
You with a place to lock your bike.
Well,
You're not control thieves any more than anybody else can.
oh, really? Really? Let me ask you something. Why do you have lights on? Why do you have lights out on the outer part of your building if it's not to prevent possible anybody being assaulted at the library? You could turn the lights off after you all leave, but you leave them on. Explain that one to me. Let me ask you something, Teresa. Let me ask you something, Teresa. Do you know anything? Do you know anything about Title IX? Do you know what Title IX is?
Can I ask you a question?
I want to ask you a question. Do you know about Title IX?
Asked me plenty of questions. It's my
I got a bunch of questions to ask you. I'm trying to figure this out. All we got to do is just take Teresa Jones and move the bike rack. What is the reason why you won't move it? Because I see a lot of people, they will park their bikes. There is a no loitering sign by the Panama City Police, and I'm kind of confused. Why are you called the Bay County Public Library, yet you're in Panama City? I tried calling, the Bay County Sheriff's Department. you know, to prevent crimes, to keep people's bikes from being stolen. And I'm trying to figure out Robin Shader's thinking for putting the bike rack where nobody can see it.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
If you have a car out in that parking lot and you lock your doors, somebody busts the window open, is that our fault?
Let me ask you something. Well, first of all,
lock your bike on the bike rack.
First of all, number one, let me ask you something.
Is that our fault?
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Okay? Let me ask you something. Is that okay? Let me ask you something. Is that bicycle rack in the best, safest place where people can see it?
It is under lighting, and it is out of the way.
Out of the way? You mean to tell me where people can take bolt cutters and cut the chains off, where nobody can see it?
Sir, it is
Let me ask you something. Are you familiar with Title IX? Are you let me ask you something, Teresa Jones. Are you familiar with Title IX?
Sir,
Title IX is where you had a right. Title IX is where you had a right to be able to have your position, because I remember when you'd be barefoot and pregnant, okay? But I have found that females, unless they can't think past their makeup mirror, and if it's something that personally does not involve them, they don't care about nobody, right? Am I correct on that?
Sir, you're being very rude.
Being rude? Let me ask you something. Don't you think it's rude when somebody, all I want to do is park my bike where I can safeguard it? And you choose. First of all, risk management means a car? Let me ask you something. All right, let me ask you something. Isn't it a lot harder to break into a car and start the ignition compared to cutting the lock on a bike?
I have to go, sir. I have other phones ringing.
So in other words, you want to be sued, right?
Our bicycle rack is in a safe...
Okay, so what you're telling me is you don't care about people because it's not your problem. You can't think past... You cannot think past your makeup mirror. Am I correct on that? You are incapable of having compassion for other people unless it's your selfish self, right?
I don't have to listen to this, sir.
What do you mean? Wait, hey, how about when I cross-examine you? How about when I cross-examine you? You ain't never had anybody cross-examine you the way I will. I will be suing you.
I'm hanging up now.